You can tail it right now if you want to. Statue of Eleanor Roosevelt. Alfred Anderson. Birmingham Southern Flight Museum. So in 1941, the American military didn't want the Tuskegee Airmen to fly. By 45, the only Nazis felt that way. A force to be reckoned with. So is that the simulator?
That's the Link trainer.
Yeah, simulator. Yeah. One of the first ones. Love these old planes. Cloth covered wings. Cloth plane. I didn't realize they kept so much cloth on them for a long time. Look at the front of that one, they polished it up. Camera froze up, so I don't know what it's doing. It should have plenty of storage. Here's the other trainer. This is the advanced trainer. This is a AT6, so this might be more like what Harrison Ford, because it's fuselage and all is aluminum, but I don't remember the wings. I think it was that color there, and the wings were still cloth. You think something 70, 80 years old, but even down to the lights, it's beautiful. My boy over there having fun. Let's see how big this helicopter is. I mean, it goes from the door back here all the way to the front. Huh? I know. The plane or the copter? The helicopter's huge. And that's not a big one. They've got the bigger ones. I know. That's the insignia. They've changed the insignia on it. They've got some huge planes. I think used to be one of the largest planes they had was a Russian. I think that's what they used in Fast and the Furious. These wings fold up. I think they fold up. I think that's what that hinge is. Landing gear on the other side. No, they might just take apart right there. Anyway, a little cub here. Boy, I tell you what, it's like riding in a Volkswagen. I don't know if I'm that big brave. I need to put new windows in it.
I think the small ones like this got the wings that fold up.
That even might be a Volkswagen motor.
Yeah, I think so.
Little bitty. It's the ones you put and haul around with your pickup truck. See, I can't read Russian, but
I know a little bit.
you know how to read Russian? Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny bit.
I can read this Russian over here on this door. That's what I can read. I know. That's why I said it's on a Russian plane, though, a Russian copter. The exhaust.
I think this just says something about explosives.
It's on.
Correct, it says something about caution, explosives.
You got cameras facing the pilot.
Or something like that.
Night vision for the gunner. Boy, that's... I don't even know what year this is. Hopefully it's got a board over here. Yeah. What year does it say? 200 miles an hour.
Well, received permission to build a prototype in 1967.
Aircraft learned of the new aircraft in 72.
The first Mi-24s were delivered in 1970.
So it's 70s. It's vintage. It's like me, 50.
Stinger heat-seeking missiles that the CIA began shipping to Mojahindi.
The whole side turns open, and this swings out. More trainers, 2 or 3, Air Force, guess declassified, or because that ain't the whole, turbine style, broke down of a turbine motor, engine, there's what I come to see, all those radials. But look, these planes, Braden was a little kid and he was under one of these over here. Come here, Braden, you're going to have to take another picture. There's a bigger Cessna. Love these little bitty ones. It's like a hot rod car. Come over here to the orange one. There's a big Cub. Now one's outside. We'll go take a look at them in a little while. But come here. It was this plane, but it was over there. Stand right here under this wing. Or stand in front of it. Yeah, right there. Take your mask off. We're not politically correct. We'll just wear it on an ear. Ain't nobody else here. I think we're more than 10 foot away, inside or not. Got hair under your chin, boy. What's that? Alright, I'll walk around and look at them. We're going to have to go back that way because this is can't walk around that one. We got it all the way to the window. Got a helicopter up there. There's a glider. Big wingspan on that. It's twice as long as the plane. But there's that Cub. NC9180E. Look. Is that the airspeed thing, or is that to keep deer from running out in you? Beautiful orange. It's got a metal instead of fabric. This one's got fabric on the wings. Hell, that might even be fabric on the body. There's another Cessna. Yeah, I can't go that way. I'll come back around. I ain't gonna duck under a wing. Little bitty wheel. It's got metal on the back side of it. It's not as old as the cloth style. Got wind diverters on the end. It must have been. There's this one. Well, how you feel? You'll be 17 in a few hours. You feel any different? Beautiful. The art and just the magnitude of the craftsmanship. Hoses split all the way around. It must be just for a buffer. Do not get in airplane. It's like a car at a car show. And the trainers. Cockpit procedure trainer. It's a cockpit where you get in it and you flip.
This the thing for
Hatch. Yeah. Well.
Like say after they crash.
Well, this is just a trainer, so it's. Well, it says injection seat, so yes, it probably does eject it if need be, but I don't know if it would really eject it. It wouldn't make sense to, but if they went through it, you might pull the lever to react it, but it's not going to eject because it has nowhere to go but a ceiling.
Because it's just a
Trainer. And they train you to, hey, here's where it's at. Here's some of the engines, motors, air cooled. It's an earlier style. The radials are beautiful. And it goes in a circle, so you know. See, somebody might want to read, zoom in, or I turn it the other way and it might mess up. Go back. I'll take a picture. Might try to post a picture in between or at the end of the beginning. These right here, beautiful. Talking about work. Every lock nut, lug wire, hose, shield. And you start out to size from smaller to bigger and goes up. And then they started staggering the crank. And the cranks are ungodly the way they rotate. Look at that, just beautiful. Heat fins. The sun popping on the windows, trying to move, expansion and contraction. But it don't get no prettier than that. It's just beautiful. This one has the ducting that goes around it where this one didn't. And it also shows a picture of the type of planes it would have been put in. And to hear one of these fire up in a big plane, oh my God. There is not another sound like it when they go by in the wind. Just cutting through the wind, the sheer horsepower. There's a tag on it. And there's still companies that rebuild these to put them in planes. It's just like antique cars. There's a market and there's a group of people. And get bigger and bigger and bigger as you go down. But you're talking about beautiful. Come here, Braden, and stand next to this one. Right there. Take your mask back off. Since you're politically correct for your mother. Smile. Thank you, sir. Got a few AN fittings on it. The fins have been soldered back. I got a cooling fin jacket down here, and they're soldered across the front. It might be where they were put together. But these, it's a radial, but it staggers every other cylinder. And it's got 6 and 12, and I mean, whew. That's your big boy planes, and that's the wing. And this is like the one that was used in the tanks. Cylinder VE. It's upside down. And I've seen one like this. It's a single or double stack that was used in troop transports. But these are your tank style engines that they used in the Mustangs and the airplanes. And we had them in a lot of tanks. And had them in a lot of tractor pulls. These things are all over the world right here because they were in so many things, and people would find the planes and tear them apart for scrap, and scrap wasn't a big thing back then, but they still had it. It's got magnetos on it. Ranger 6. And there's a cutout of a turbine. Early style finned ones. Pat and Whitney. And there's some more trainers. And what was this? This was a gun, Bray. Did you see the gun? ZPU.
Okay.
Shells explode when it goes up. That's small. Jeep man carry that just about, a couple of them.
Yeah, that's why there's a handle there. Because what they did.
They break the barrel down.
Well, no, it depends. Because say one guy would hold one of these here, meanwhile two others would, like say if the barrel were to break off, one guy would carry it, meanwhile the other two would carry the base.
Well, that's what, yeah, because it's got a clip to remove it. Right there. You flip that up and you probably rotate it, pull the pin, rotate it, and the barrel come off.
Or just three guys together holding it up. Two guys at base, one.
Yeah,
one
it probably weighs probably 200-300 pounds at max. Has it got the weight on it?
Weight 909 pounds.
900. Well, I'm way off then.
I was gonna say it's more than that.
That's got to be solid steel plate, counterweight. It's got a weld in it. I thought it was just stamped steel together, but it's got to be solid. I know the leg takes most of the force because it digs in to keep it from shoving back and forward when it shoots. How much is the shot? No. There's an old, what is this, radar bray? Photo.
That's a photography.
Oh, okay, it's the camera. Okay.
That's photography.
That's a big old camera. I thought it was a radar thing. I didn't see the back of it.
Early 2000s photography.
Okay.
One for like places like that, like Afghanistan.
Okay, typographical. Went to photography, but typographical.
Typography.
Yeah.
Photography, yep.
There's stealth planes, and them things are old now. I didn't think about it at the time. When I was young, there's just new technology. Now you see it, and it's old technology. Here's a couple of more cameras they had in planes way back in the day.
That was for stealth.
Yeah,
Stealth
missions. Well,
shootings.
this is a stealth plane.
Yeah, that's a stealth.
This is the big boy. The other one outside. This is the newer one. The other one outside's older. 1954 to 52s. I don't know if this has got the year on those. No. And there's another copter. This is the 60s right here, Vietnam era. There's an old Russia flag, swastika.
Nope.
The sickle bar, German.
Germany, Nazi Germany was the Nazi sign.
The sickle
That
and the hammer is Russian.
Hammer is just Soviet Union.
Soviet Union, Russian. That's what's on the Mauser we got. Dated 38, I think. A lot of.
The hammer was meant to justify communism and the equal play. That didn't last long.
No. Now it was what, SSR. Now I don't even. Czech Republic. What is it called now? Just Russia?
United Soviet States of Russia. USSR.
What is it? The Right Stuff? You need to watch. I think you've watched it. You have to watch that again. I had one of those landmines. Activated it when we walked in front of it. Here's the back of the stuff, and there's a couple of more of the couple of models. Too young. My generation went to Panama, the Korean War, and you got the Laos conflict. What?
I got little survival cards.
Oh, it showed the enemy.
Well, as in like poisonous snakes.
Okay, so those are,
like the type of animals that are
Yeah.
dangerous to them.
well, they had some that were playing cards that had like in
That had the said
the
enemy.
tank,
Yeah.
no, it tanks and trucks, and it's how to identify the vehicles, not just like the ones from Afghanistan had the Taliban on them. they had who to look for. So they're training cards, but yet they're still play cards that you could use for playing in poker and stuff, so you knew who they were. Now this grit, this was used in World War II, Vietnam and Korea. The airfield reconstructed. They have this stuff in the Bikini Islands when they did the bomb over there and lined it, but we had a trailer made out of it. This stuff went everywhere, and believe it or not, the wall from Mexico to the U.S. is also a lot of these panels here. That's what they were talking about. They use this stuff. I mean, it went overseas by the billions and then come back. It's still probably over there, goo poodles, but we had an old car trailer made out of it. There's so much of this stuff laying around. Back in, they had little D2 dozers they pushed up and flattened it out, and the ground was so soft and not hard enough, they lay this air mat stuff down and used for runway. Does that talk about it? The morning of, what's this? I don't know if that's just a picture of that. But stealth plane, all black and aluminum, sharp edge, and it's not welded. It might be, but it's got tons of screws. Had an accident there. Here's the booklet on it. There's a beautiful plane right there. FU-910 Betty. Here's the paper on it. Here's another little Jeep. Let's see. I want to say Jeep. It might not be. I gotta look, see if it says Ford or not. Looks like a Ford wheel, and the Jeep wheels and all made by the same there for a while. Huh?
Plastic explosives still, or
What?
claymores?
When? Those clays, no, those are different. Those were like dynamite, and they set off a charge in it to make it explode. It's not like plastics. Yeah. Got 2 or 3 Jeeps over there.
Where two countries were at odds with each other. Those two countries, ironically enough, the United States and
This is the one that was on the lake bed that they crashed when training up Michigan, I think, Slayer. Where's Lake Mead at, Bray? Isn't it up Michigan? The lake. The one that this was on. Murray. Lake Murray. I think it's up in Michigan or up that way somewhere. It's up north. It ain't down south. They had a light on up in there. Braden, walk to the front and see if they got a... Walk right there and see if a light will cut on in there. All the water damage, it ruined it. It's saltwater corrosive, if I'm not mistaken, is what corroded it the most. And here is a picture of them pulling it up. Huh? Even what? Yeah, there's some over there too. I know, that's what I'm saying. There's the double gun right there from it. This was an intact plane that sat on the lake bed bottom for like 40 years. It was 116,000 back in the day. What does it say? 50 cal. M2, 50 cal.
Yeah, 50 caliber ammunition.
Thought you knew guns, boy.
he's like 112 years old or something?
No, 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 no. Like 100 almost. 1942, son. There's them on the deck. December of 41. Avenge Pearl Harbor. Our bullets will do it. Doolittle's crew. So all these are the Doolittle planes. There's several movies about Doolittle. What's in that one? But there's the lake where it's set. It's set right off of the island. And that tells about it. 1943 is when it crashed, and there's a painting of it.
Emblem of service craft.
Okay. Movie projector. And there's the arrival of the B-25 when they were making them. There's them in the factory. What? Enterprise? Starship Enterprise? Don't know what in the world this is. Instrument panel. I knew a man that used to wear those things. All different kinds of planes. Every year they kept sending them to school, sending them to tests in schools. He made good money, but all he did was lay on his back and wire up plane instrument panels. There's the stuff right there. I don't know what year it was taken in. Tire for them. A big old picture of it. Other stuff plane, there's one that's outside like that. There's parachute, guess from a jump seat. Canopy from one. Beautiful. It's got the chain, the guns, the anchor, everything.
Uss Birmingham.
Maybe Earhart, but the guy that did it. I'll come back to that. The props. I've got 4, 2 on each corner. This is?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what's at Mobile.
Yeah.
The launcher for the plane. Huh. The crane to pick it up out of the water when it landed in the water. I don't remember that. So we'll have to, well, this is the Birmingham. I don't know if that one's Alabama or what it's called. What's the...
Well, there's a USS Alabama.
That's the one that's down in Mobile, I think.
If I remember correctly,
It's a battleship
this,
too.
along with the USS Cleveland and I can't remember the other names of them. Oh, then there was also the Hornet, which was technically...
This is the USS Birmingham. It's got the plane launcher. And that's it in June of 44.
There's the...
Yeah, that's the crane to pick it up and down to set them on there.
And if I'm correct, the Hornet, which was later made after the Enterprise. If I remember correctly.
Service record. It's hard to see with the glare. Who's that?
Georgie, ready?
Have to find out what the story is on that. But this is the Enterprise. New modern. Now all the air carriers don't have the tower deck on it. It's hanging off the side and you can't hardly see it. The newest ones. But the cranes to pick them up if they crash and stuff and get the boats in and out. But if a plane is sitting on the deck, the wings are up. The only time they're down is when they're taking off and going. Come back over here and we'll look at the Amelia Earhart. Thunderbirds.
During World War II, that filled like half the hull with water so that they could get a more trajectory angle of firing.
I don't know, son. You'd have to tell me that.
And I think it was Texas. I think it was the USS Texas.
You've done more research on the war stuff than I ever did. I wasn't interested in it because I heard it from my granddaddy. My granddaddy told me because he lived it. Rosie the Riveter. And that lady right there, when they redid Doc, went out for the thing. She riveted. No, that's Kate. That might be her.
Charlie Phillips? Do we know where Charlie Phillips is?
Well, wasn't Rosie the Riveter originally just as a propaganda type thing?
No, she was the woman. She was a real woman, but all the women did rivets. They were riveters. They were all called Rosie the Riveter. But her name might have been Rosie. I don't know. She was a young, she was alive when they finished Doc, and I don't remember what year that was.
I remember my history teacher telling me that she wasn't a real person.
No, yeah, they all were. But they needed the women to work, and they all worked in the factories. They're building and working on this one. They're restoring it, got all the old pieces over there. What, the helicopter, the glider, the ultralight. Alrighty. Oh, yes, sir. No complaints. Best thing about an airplane is half of it's wood. Used to be. Let's say experimental. They've added these because we weren't allowed in here last time, but the ultralight up there, the wings fold in two. Looks like it's got balsa wood on the front and no fabric on the back. And there's another newer one right there. There's a cutaway. There's a bunch of the models. There's some engines over there. There's that one right there. It's right there. They built a Silver Bullet from James Bond, and he flew in it a lot. You don't get to see all these little ones anymore. That one with the wings folded up over there. Big old bubble one. We gotta go to an air show this year. Some artwork, papers. beautiful artwork. Daniel Moore does some beautiful artwork too. My sister used to work for Daniel. $1964. It's an old seal. Embassy, South Vietnam, April '75. Paratroopers. There's another model of a stealth plane. There's what's that, son?
They didn't have enough soap for parachutes, so they started testing with their soldiers how far a person could fall down without breaking their legs.
Well, there was a lady that fell from a plane so many thousands of feet up, and she lived.
Oh no, but it was in snow that they started testing it.
What in the world? Weather radar, weather plane, got an aerial unit in front of the props.
I believe so.
It's got to have something to do because you got a weather balloon. They dropped, looks like a it's a beautiful picture there. Tail doesn't look so good over that one. Those planes didn't fare real well. They tried different designs on just about everything. Stuff that worked was tried and true, no matter how old it is. Still works to this day. Morse code. Used to communicate in a different way back in the day. Nowadays, no kid knows. Did you see the back middle wing?
Yeah, it was torn.
Some medals. Central Intelligence. Recovery. Recovery of a pilot. We'll walk to those. 1903 Cadillac. There's the old sign for the Birmingham airport. A copy of the Wright brothers plane. There's another one. That's going to be some history of Alabama. This is what?
Another little small model of the USS
Okay,
Birmingham.
it's got a full deck, but that was an older one. I don't see no guns. It's got sails. November 1910. Maxwell Field. Wright Brothers. Childhood. And when they come to the motor, we put a motor on it. 1911. Talking about pioneers that did stuff that could cost them a life. They did it. Orville and Wilbur. Grapey Co. There's got the airfield, I guess the first few seconds of flight, the first picture there. And wing walkers on the biplanes. We'll look at this Cadillac in a minute. Just some stuff at the turn of the century, and here's a wing walker. That's a swing. Trapeze. 8-cylinder airplane motor built for World War I. Early flight biplanes. Little video prop cut. And look at some old technology. You can do more with my phone than you could have done with this back in the day. And it takes up a 4x4 by 8 foot area. Ford Model T touring sedan. It's going to be a Ford plane. Maybe, maybe not. Wooden spokes on the Cadillac. Fabric. Cooler up under. Well, the Ford I had no doubt in, but the Cadillac, it's iffy. Yeah, wooden spoke wheels. You know, them things would splinter probably now.
We drive it once a month.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Crank it up and get it lubed up. Look at that prop. Beautiful. There's a radial engine. Louisiana. Got some radial motors over there. There's old light. Here's a cutaway of the plane. Fabric cloth on one side. So I said you trust fabric a lot with starch on it. Paint. I don't know what this is. It looked like a Bantam front end though, front radiator. Grant, I don't know. Not familiar with that car. Wooden spokes. But it's 1915 touring. Yep. A missile or a bomb. Yep. That's a triple plane. Wonder if that was carved from the hand carved propeller. Don't say which one.
Blade presented to Baron.
Yeah.
Von Richthofen in honor of the 1916 battle known as the Battle of the Eagles. plane was carved from a propeller taken and from the small air trailing.
Just think about it. Having to put a motor in with ropes and strings in the war. Making shift and doing with what you had. Because it would have went in a plane like this. Had nothing but paper, fabric. There's the Spirit of St. Louis right there. That's a beautiful plane. I didn't even see it when I walked up under it. And this is Scout right there. Even got a Indian head on it. There's the Grant touring car. Grant Motor Company, 1913 to 1922. 4-cylinder, 12 horsepower. It was real big in the 70s, 60s, 50s. You had dashes and stuff. That's why the Tucker, it produced and said that it was one of the safest cars because of you could get down in the floorboard in a crash. Just slide over. There is no windshield for this plane. They said he was crazy. Couldn't see where he was going. He didn't need to see where he's going. Used radar. But that's what that front, but had a side window he could see out the ocean. Several movies about the Spirit of St. Louis. And that's going to be a recreation. It's not going to be the original. I like the Grapico plane.
This is a small advertisement for Grapico because they were.
Grapico was 1916 back in the day, so
Yeah,
that was 100 years.
Still really popular.
Yeah.
And then they got enough money to have a small plane. They flew it
The
around.
touring sedans didn't have no tops or nothing. It is a top, but it lets down like a buggy. And the buggy was touring. Open top carriages were the first. Went from that to automobiles that are open. Still got the original floorboards. They fold up and you can service the transmission and stuff. Squeak horn. The leather had to have been replaced at one time, but maybe not. It kept inside. Old lacquer paint's cracked so bad. Looks like leather. You can't hardly see it. There, you can see a little bit of it. It's cracked all over. It's probably been repainted once. '1903 Cadillac.
I forgot. Was it during the It was during 19. Wait.
Blue Angels plane. The U.S. Air Force, the right stuff's what they use. These planes, types, first jets.
Ah, here it is.
What?
North, south, east.
Yeah, you didn't see that a minute ago?
I saw it. It's just I didn't understand it.
Yeah, they cleared this plane and the clear's coming off of it. The clear makes it grayer, but they didn't sand before they sprayed, because if you sand it, it dulls it, but clear's rolling off of it everywhere. But at least they tried to protect it. You try to do everything you can. Got it chained down to keep it from flying away in a storm, because it does get windy. I got the tail polished up on this one, and that's it. But that's the clear flaking and rolling up off everything. Must have used that Sherwin-Williams clear that's on the Galaxy.
I
have to get my air show pictures out that you don't remember going to. Got 6 bolts holding the plane down to a pedestal. It probably did some kind of mission or something. Got a plaque here. McDonnell Douglas F4N Phantom 2. I don't know if you can see that clear enough or not. It looks clear on here and it looks blurry, but if you're on a computer you can pause it and blow it up. Max takeoff weight is 52,500. Year 1966 to 83. And then this one. There's the doors where they were working on them planes, and there's the front glass. They got their lights on. U.S. Air Force. 25th. Can't see it on this side, it's faded out. The rivets are starting to rust, and the screws. The rivets should be aluminum, but screw fasteners are steel. They got stainless and steel on the patch. But they sit outside in the weather all their life. That's what happens. The sun eats it up. And they're fixing to move them all. Since COVID hit, they messed up. They said it'll be a year or two before everything gets back to normal, but they got to buy a truck and a trailer first. And then they'll have to start taking them all apart. Because it ain't like you're going to fly this thing over there. They'll have to take the wings off of it. They can leave the rudder and tail and all together. But everything else have to be taken off, and they'll have to get some kind of a crane truck to lift them up and down, but everything will have to be taken, like this one here. If they could bolt it down sideways and haul it, then they'd be okay because of height. But you can't do a plane that way. Structurally, you catch air and then try to flip over off a truck, even going slow, because it ain't that far, but it's in a better area than downtown Birmingham, because that's where we at. You got a wrought iron fence all the way around it, which had to do that over there in Leeds too, but Leeds is better secure than this. Let's go over here and look at some more planes. I'm not jumping no fence. That's the T-39D. I can't see without my glasses, boy. What does that say?
T-39D Sabertiner Twin Jet Utility Trainer.
Wait a minute. I can zoom in on it. So that's a trainer. I can't see when I put my glasses on. Pause it. We'll go over here to this one. I go right here like that. Alrighty, I can walk down to the next one. Now this one does not have a placard, it's fallen off. Same thing about the helicopter right there. It fell off. So, can't tell you what it is. I know it's a cargo carrier of some sort. Looks like it's got a Bell engine. Not sure, but let's walk around a little closer. See, a little bit closer. Fence dips in. But it can have 2 people sitting back there, or 3, not sure. And then got the big crane and cable winch right there in the center. Let's walk down to this next one. This says Sky Crane Army, but that ain't what this is, because that's where the Sky Crane sign is, CH54B. We'll have to look it up. I don't know if that's what this is or something else should have been there. We'll look.
Something that should have been there, but isn't there.
That's what I'm thinking. We'll look it up in a minute. Yeah. I can't see. But the T-38. Walk on down. And the Tweety Bird part-time trainer is the one back there in the back, maybe. I don't think it's this one. Of course, it might be. It's a T-37B. I don't know if it's that one or the one in the back. I can't tell you. The one in the back there, I know Shell had a whole bunch of them they had flying in the air show. I got a bunch of pictures of. And this is an F-84F. Understrike. Korean era.
Thunder Street, Korean era veteran fighter.
Look at them belly bombs. A big old plane with a big old bomb. But it's probably a torpedo style, the way the back looks.
Yeah, torpedo.
And we'll walk on down. Got the green Fairlane parked over here in the shade. So these are closer together. 8 foot up, and the fence is a 6 foot barbed wire. We'll walk a little bit. Let me pause you for a second. This one doesn't have a display placard. But it's got the torpedoes or bombs on it too. It's still got the tow strap up under it. Got some vines here. There's a long-range jet. Got the snout on it for refueling. Here's a F-111A Supersonic fighter bomber. It's got 2 on each wing that it can release. And that one's missing its Air Force identifier on it too. Let's walk up a little bit further. We get to the stealth one, we probably will move across the road over there and park the car. F-100C. And that one's on loan from the Air Force Heritage Collection. This one is too. But there's a stealth plane that was top notch when I was a kid. Well, teenager. And that thing's been here for 20 years. Better. So it's old technology. Lockheed A-12 Blackbird. Thing of beauty right there, boys. Alright, let's get to the car and go around to the other side. Helicopter over there hovering. That makes somebody sick. But we come look at these planes right here. These right there, beautiful ones. You're fine, son. I'm up above your head. Don't trip on the grass. There's a refueler truck. Ant beds. I seen one of them right there used in a movie one time. Single engine. Those are pretty planes. They're a little ugly, but they're pretty. Old crane back there. Lift up, change out motors. And threw all their trash out. But look at that folding wing right there. You're talking about a plane that's 40, 50 years old. Got them chained down, keep them from getting airborne. Got the little guns on each wing. S2F. Tracker Navy Sub Hunter. School bus running. So I don't know if it uses sonar or what to find them, but there's a passenger plane. That thing's probably from the 40s or 50s, the way the first ones, Southern Airways. Might have even painted it up for a movie, there ain't no telling, but that would have been one of the first commercial airplanes right there. Fabric's coming off the bottom of the wing. You can see the balsa wood hanging out from under it. But to me, that right there is beautiful. Aviation at its finest. It might have been from the 50s with the motor and all that's on it. But the jet era, 80s plus, on most of your jets. You had some before, but that's around that deadline era. And there's the Stealth over there. But you can see some of the aluminum and rivets on the front. And it's got aluminum and rivets on that, but the ailerons and the rudder and tail and all is fabric covered. But you can see the rivets. Let me take my glasses where I can see zoom in. You can see all the rivets right there. So 50s and pre. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed a day of airplanes, and we're gonna go find something to eat and get this boy a cake or something. Ice cream. How about Sonic or Dairy Queen? That sounds good. We gotta get gas first. Anyway, appreciate it.